Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's Anthony and we are back with a new video. I've been wanting to do more content, like where I show my face more and branch out my content, and because I feel like the way that I make videos is kind of lazy, like where I just like put pictures in CapCut and talk about shit. So I want to do like more fun stuff on the channel, and today I'm going to be reading Am I the Asshole stories. Y'all better be grateful because I made a vow back in 2019 to never hop on fucking Reddit again, and I am literally downloading it and deleting my account afterwards because I hate this app so much. But yeah, Am I the Asshole is a story, is a little thing, a little subreddit, but it's also on TikTok where people read stories and they decide if they are the asshole in the situation or not. We're gonna get into it and we're gonna read all of these stories, and I'm gonna read like 4. I'm gonna read 4. Okay, am I the asshole for not supporting my sister while she figures out her sexuality? Homophobia! For context, I, 18 female, have been out to my whole family as a lesbian since I was 13, but came out to my sister, 21 female, before everyone else. I always looked up to her a lot and wanted her to like me, but she always looked down on me and nothing I ever did seemed to be good enough for her. Our relationship has slowly deteriorated throughout the years and she grew further apart from me while I still tried to cling on to her. And when I came out to her, she was super dismissive and not at all supportive. It really stung. It felt like the final breaking point in our relationship, especially because I gave her several other chances to take back the things she said to me over the next 3 years, and she stood by it. And I confronted her several times and she kept insisting that she did nothing wrong and refused to apologize. Eventually I gave up. Although I struggled heavily with my mental health throughout most of my life, and she never supported me in that. And when it was getting really bad, she actually called me crazy, and again, when confronted, she claimed she was justified and did nothing wrong. Okay, you bitch. The sister, not the poster. Recently, however, she confided to me that she's never felt real romantic or sexual attraction to anyone in her life, and she didn't know what was wrong with her. So I suggested she could be aro ace, but I know how hard and confusing it is to have to figure out your sexuality on your own. She did some research on it and came back to me a couple weeks later, and said that it sounded a lot like her, and she tried to initiate a whole conversation about it. She was starting to get all teary-eyed and venting about her experience and stuff, and I cut her off. I told her I was willing to help her figure herself out because I knew what it was like, but that I wasn't going to support her emotionally. She got a bit upset about this and told me I was being selfish, but I didn't budge. Am I the asshole? Honestly, I don't feel like you're the asshole in this situation. Your sister was being a bitch and completely disregarding your mental health and your sexuality. So yeah, you're not, my verdict, not the asshole. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that one was kind of giving boring. I'm gonna look for a funnier one. Am I the asshole for putting up a do not clean sign in English and Spanish for cleaners that were coming to the house whose racial and cultural identity I was not made aware of? Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. I already know it's gonna be some racist ass shit. We'll see. I live in South Florida, which across the board of general people and workers has a large percentage of Spanish speakers. I live with my father, and he had informed me that there were cleaners coming by tomorrow that would be going room to room, tasked with cleaning the whole house. I had no prior knowledge given to me about the business, workers, etc. And we had plenty of cleaners and general workers in the past who were and were not Hispanic. My room was not to be cleaned in the job, so I put a little paper sign on my door saying do not clean in the same in Spanish, which I had specifically verified as proper because Google Translate tends to mess up. I met the cleaners briefly and treated them politely and respectfully, and they spoke no word of the sign, nor did they have any seeming issue with me. But then I get informed by my father the next day that the boss of the cleaning service had called him and accused the sign of being racist because I had assumed cleaners would speak Spanish. I won't be hanging any more signs because of this incident, but I failed to see how the supply sure if the Spanish part of the sign was present in an area where Spanish is rarely found. I could see it as possibly assuming. However, as previously mentioned, I had no information on the workers at all, and we've had people working in the house before that did not speak English but did in fact speak Spanish. If it matters, the boss and his workers were white and Portuguese. Honestly, in my verdict, not the asshole. You're just considerate. You're just trying to be considerate. Why are these stories all so fucking short? Give me some good ones. Okay, this one, okay. Am I the asshole for not ordering my husband food? Here's the story. Last night after an event, we drove separately and I said, do you want McDonald's? Because I'm not stopping to pick up food for the kids. I was not feeling well and didn't want to cook. It was also getting late. He said we can go anywhere else. I said my car is hitting MDs. It's kind of an emergency to get home. He decided to drive my car with us. I get the kids' orders and his brothers that was texted to me. It was a 10-minute drive. I go in and order because the drive-thru line was huge. I get back in the car and he asked, what did you get me? I was floored and replied, I didn't know you wanted anything because you never said so. I have just picked out his meal for him without being asked. This is why I think he's tripping. At any point he said I want XYZ. He could have said I want XYZ or hey, can you pick for me? But he didn't. He said I left no space to ask. But we sat in silence for most of the car ride after I got orders from 3 kids. I wasn't aware I had a 4th man who though needs to be babied. Not the asshole. Bitch, he's a grown-ass man. He can get his own fucking food. You don't need to fucking baby him and pick up his fucking order, girl. He's a grown-ass man. Tell him to order his own fucking food. Am I the asshole for smoking a cigar in my house? My wife smokes weed on a regular basis. I do not smoke except maybe a cigar or 2 a year. Okay, you just have your yearly cigar like you're in the fucking mafia. She has numerous different gadgets that she uses and they all stink, but there is one pipe she uses that literally smells like somebody took a shit in my nose after she smokes it. I think I know what type of like pipe she's talking about because I am a former gardener. If you've seen like some of my first couple videos, I talk about gardening or weed a lot, but I'm currently on a break because of some mental health issues, so like I'm not really like partaking in gardening right now. I'm taking a break from my mental health, but like yeah, I know what that shit smells like, and I've had pipes that smelled fucking nasty. Like I had to throw away this pipe because it got all like dark and nasty, so like I can see where this person's coming from. And after she smokes in it. So tonight I come to bed and she has been smoking on the shit pipe in the bedroom. So I just without thinking go to my humidifier and fire up my own stoogie. She's now running around bitching, saying I'm inconsiderate and how cigar smoke is much worse than weed, etc. And I'm spraying at least half a can of Lysol, and now I got the bedroom to myself. Am I the asshole? I technically don't smoke. We've had talks in the past about her consumption stench. However, I don't tell her what to do because the house is just as much hers as it is mine. I have been hoping she will come to her senses one day and decide to smoke outside. However, she smokes too often to burden herself with this apparently. I feel like all the folks saying weed smoke is not as bad or weed smokers themselves. I agree all smoking is nasty, and this was my first time I've ever smoked in my house. I smoked about half an inch of the cigar to prove a point, but nobody wants to smell anyone smoke. But fuck me, if that's what's good for the goose, can't be good for the gander. She did mention I should have talked to her about it, but I figured my comments and hand waving when I walk into what smells like high school party for over 15 years will be enough for her to be considering of others. Again, not the asshole. I feel like your wife is the asshole in this situation because I know what that shit smells like. I know what weed smoke smells like, and I know what cigar smoke smells like, and agree they're both fucking nasty as fuck. Honestly, I think cigar smoke to me is worse, but I still
don't make fun of me in the comments. I'm a pussy ass bitch. I vape. I'm a vape girly.
But bitch, go smoke outside. It's not that fucking hard. I do it. Everybody I know do it. Like, girl, if you need to smoke so bad, bitch, go the fuck outside. Go outside. Am I the asshole for telling my friends it's not my problem that they can't afford things? Looking for some opinions, outside opinions on this instead, just hearing from the people involved. I, 33 male, from Australia, and my group of friends have been friends since high school. Once we graduated, many of my friends opted to skip a further education to instead work a job in the trade or drop out and work in a warehouse factory. Some still don't have full-time jobs and just job hop in between part-time work. Nothing against those jobs, they were just looking for an easy living and didn't want to spend more time in school. I opted to go to university while at the same time I got lucky enough to work in the industry I was studying in. So this helped me get a head start in my career, so when I graduated I already had more experience than the average graduate. It also meant when I was waking up at 5 a.m. every day for work and then going to university after, then getting home 9 to 10 p.m. every day. Once I graduated and started working, I got a well-paying job, $80K annually, and this was immediately more than what all my friends were earning. I immediately started hearing how I just got lucky with this job, completely ignoring the years of hard work I had already put in. Young me was just proud to show off my hard work to my friends, so I made the mistake of telling them my wage. Over the years, the comments died down, but I wasn't bothered by them too much anymore. Fast forward to last week, I had my friends over to my newly built home. As today I am single, no children, no pets, and have drastically increased my wage. Yes, slay, bitch. I want a house with no kids and no pets. I want a bitch. That would be the dream for me. And I've drastically increased my wage while also getting new certifications to keep up with my industry. I'm able to afford a lot of things without struggling, and I do consider myself fortunate. This was the first time my friends had seen the new house, and the comments started up again. How I'm able to afford a big new house, how I'm lucky, how all I do is sit around all day and get paid lots, and so on and so forth. I wanted to show my new achievement of the house, but it made me sour. The comments wouldn't stop, so I snapped, telling them it's not my fault. They were too lazy and to try and make anything of themselves, and if they put in any level of effort, they wouldn't have to struggle to go out or buy things for themselves or keep working low-paying jobs. Even to this day, I'm still working and studying to get ahead, but they've all barely changed jobs in the 10 plus years. A couple of my friends left because they were angry. A few others stayed around and understood they weren't making the comments. Things have been quiet in the group chats, and plans for Christmas and NYE are up in the air. I'm thinking of apologizing to keep the peace, but one of my friends is suggesting I wait to see if they apologize. Am I the asshole? Hell no, you're not the fucking asshole. Fuck your friends. You need better friends. Because I have been in the situation of because a lot of my friends, because I just graduated high school a year ago, so a lot of my friends are doing stuff with their lives, or in college, or in all this, or doing doing out of the state, or going places, doing big things, and I'm just here making videos for you guys and working at a gas station. But I don't think it's your fault. And like I said, like you said, it's not your fault that they didn't do anything with their lives. So I get it, and you're not the asshole in this situation. Your friends are. Am I the asshole for refusing to use all the money my dead mom left me to pay for her funeral? First of all, sorry for my bad spelling. I'm from Germany. My mother died a few days ago. Now I, 22 male, am fighting with my older sister, 29 female, and my older brother, 27 male. Why the fuck do they feel the need to tell us the fucking ages of the fucking people? We know, just say your sister, your brother. Y'all don't have to say your fucking age. That's not important. About who is paying for the funeral or who is paying how much. Normally, you would think everybody pays the same portion, or depending on their income or saving. But the problem is I have no income because I stopped attending evening school because they refused to let me care for my now dead mother and attend at the same time. I have 3 younger siblings. One is 17 female, the other 19 female, and the third 21 male. But they were not really suited to care for our mother and attended schools themselves. That's why our mother always sent me money so that I could pay the bills. I live with my younger siblings, but I was better with money than my mother. We had $5,000 in our account when she died, and since she is dead now, I am looking for a job. I'm going to join the whatever the fuck that is. That's some German shit, and now I have to find a job to tide me over until I'm in service. Oh, I'm guessing the military? If you're from Germany, let me know what the damn Bundeswehr is. Bunderwehr? I don't know. And we are now paying $5,000 to pay the bills until then. I know it's partially my fault, but I wasn't prepared for this. You have other things on your mind than just looking for a job when your own mother is dying on the couch and doctors are failing to treat her. She was just being sent from one hospital to another. Now, to my AITA, we think the funeral should cost between $6,000 and $8,000 for my older siblings. But damn, that's a fucking expensive ass funeral. Just put her in the fucking ground. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, which means I can't pay the rent or electricity or water for me and my siblings. I know that I have to pay something in any case, which I already done, and I already transferred $1,700 to the funeral plan and $1,600, which was still in my mother's account, which I don't count as part of my portion, even though I or anyone else in the house doesn't earn any money. Well, what we are currently working on, but they want me to use the entire $5,000 with the argument that it's my mother's money, so even though she gave it to me, I could pay rent and other expenses for me and my siblings. My younger siblings and everyone I ask think it's pretty outrageous to ask for something like that. I understand that you just can't pay for a funeral, but we already had $3,400 together without my older siblings contributing anything, and I haven't even mentioned the hospital bills we had to pay, because my mom was self-employed and never really took care of her health insurance that my older siblings didn't even think about. So am I the asshole for refusing to use all the money my dead mom left me to pay for her funeral? I don't think so. First of all, why the fuck is a funeral $6,000? Yeah, not the asshole. Am I the asshole? My girlfriend, 27, female, left her childhood home after I was honest about how my ex impacted my life. I talked about my ex's mistreatment of me as a source of motivation in my life, and it caused my GF to run away from the argument the next day and go back to her childhood home in the suburbs. My girlfriend, 27, and I, 26, were talking about our past and having a heart-to-heart about our parents. I was talking about my motivation level and how it shifted over the years. I'm a pretty motivated person overall, though over the last few years I've gone from staying up to midnight regularly to work tech sales to being much more chill and ending around 6. I brought this up in the past, but my GF dug into it a little more, and I confessed a lot of the reason I was motivated to work hard was to impress my ex at the time. My ex had basically berated me for not and never being successful enough to buy my own home in LA. This really motivated me both during and after my relationship with her, though my motivation has dipped since I did in fact purchase from said home. My GF asked if I ever think about my ex who I dated from 2018 to 2022. I confessed that I did occasionally, and it was hard not considering the physical proximity I have with her. We worked 3 blocks away. My GF was clearly bothered, and I understand, but felt inclined to be honest. I reaffirmed my care for her and appreciation of her support compared to toxic affection from my ex. While my ex did wish me happy birthday last year, I haven't had any communication with her outside of, and even that was less than 5 texts. The next day, we go to work together, and at work, she lets me know she spoke about this incident with her mom and is going home for the night. About 90 minutes out of LA, I think this is unreasonable, but in my mind, we've been together 2 years, and I don't think sharing this part of my life story is unreasonable, nor do I think it's... Damn, this is long. Nor do I think it's unreasonable to think about somebody who I dated for 4 years. I think reporting this to her mom and retreating home is immature, and it makes me question our relationship. I tried my best to be honest and was never disparaging of my current GF while answering her questions, and I'd be open to discuss that more face to face with her directly. Moreover, her parents are likely to view me differently moving forward. I feel like this is a major obstacle moving forward in the relationship. Her mom particularly has been very nice to me, but since she would prefer someone more from her background than me. I grew up poor, and while I'm doing very well for myself in my career and financially, my parents are pretty poor. Am I the asshole for speaking candidly about my past with my ex, which led my girlfriend retreating to her childhood home? Honestly, y'all are both the fucking asshole. How about that? Clearly, bro got some like unresolved trauma or unresolved issues with his ex, and I don't think that's the girlfriend's problem, but I feel like the girlfriend also handled that situation very immaturely, so I'm gonna just go with both of y'all are the asshole. Okay, last one. Am I the asshole? This is gonna be the last one, because I only said I was reading 4. I've done read like about 6 or 7 at this point. Am I the asshole for gambling away my roommate's rent money? Yes, like I don't even have to read this fucking story, but yes, you are the asshole. Fucking no return 802. Okay, hey guys, so this happened a few weeks ago and has been the source of my constant tension. So what I wanted to hear is from some unbiased perspectives. So here's the situation. My roommate and I have been living together now for a few months. We initially started with a 6-month lease since we were not sure how things would go, but have made the decision to re-sign for another 12 months since we got along really well and had no issues living together. My roommate is using student loans to pay for his portion of the rent while he finishes up his master's degree. So he gets a large sum of money in a kind of stipend pattern, i.e. he's given a large sum of money every semester. I think he has the rationale. We were talking about this a few weeks ago, and he mentioned he finds it really hard not to spend money when he sees it in his account. So he asked me if it would be okay if he could give me the money for his portion of the rent for the next few months in advance so that I could hold on to it and use it to pay his portion of the rent. I agreed to do him a solid. I don't want to get into too many details because you know when you in the fucking wrong. I'm sorry. Okay, let me stop being biased. But I had a pretty wild night on one of those online gambling websites, and long story short, I ended up making some bets using the money he had given me for rent. It's all gone. You fucking bum ass gambling addict ass bitch. How the fuck? Okay, let me continue reading the story. I was initially not going to even bring it up with him, but I have absolutely every intention of paying the full rent myself, which I can afford to do so. But I mentioned it in passing when talking about the craziness of the night in question, and he absolutely lost his shit. He was very upset with me and talking about how I betrayed his trust and that I spent his money, etc., etc., etc. He ended up demanding that I pay him his money back, which I could after I get paid, but I really feel like I had no obligation to do this. Like, he wanted the money out of his hands, which is why I had it in the first place, and he still had nothing to worry about his WRT in his position of the rent being paid. The way I see it, he was paying the rent in advance, and I will absolutely guarantee that the rent gets paid for these months that he is paid in advance. He sees it as having spent his money. I just don't see it that way, since he specifically wanted these funds moved away from him so he didn't spend it. He basically paid me in advance for these months, and I decided to spend the money he paid me in advance too. Am I the asshole? Yes, you are the asshole. Because how the fuck are you gonna spend money that somebody else gave you to like save up for your rent and for fucking gambling? Like, it doesn't matter like if you're still paying the rent or not. You're the asshole in this situation. Okay, I think I'm done. I read about like 7 stories at this point. I'm out of breath. I'm tired, but I have 2 other videos that I'm about to work on right now. One is about the Game Awards, and I'm finally gonna continue Kingdom Hearts 2 because I've been on a little bit of a Kingdom Hearts break. So I'm gonna try coming up with like a new outro better than like just your professional yapper signing out, because I'm starting to think that's boring and I want to spice up my channel a little bit. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I love you all so much. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow all of my socials, and make sure to live, laugh, and serve cunt.